Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Quick Take and welcome back to another video of me covering The Last of Us, or specifically The Last of Us TV show. Now, when this show was being released, or at least in the build-up to its release, there was a lot of hype and hesitation as news came out that spores were not going to be present in the show. I made a video about it that has done quite well, now on 18,000 views on my small, less than 100 subscriber channel, which is just unbelievable, discussing this change. And you know, I honed down to the points how important spores were to The Last of Us. The Last of Us was unique and different, and one of the main reasons for that was spores. You know, in a lot of zombie games and a lot of zombie media, like World War Z or something like the Rage virus from 28 Days Later, or even the wildfire virus, or the wildfire virus from The Walking Dead on AMC. That was mainly transmitted through bites and scratches and basically the swapping of bodily fluids. But The Last of Us had this entirely unique concept where it was a fungal infection, it was cordyceps brain infection, that was spread through not just bites, but through the inhalation of spores, which obviously is very meta when it comes to fungus. That's how fungus spreads. That's how it works. It releases, if you don't know, it releases spores into the air, and these spores are incredibly small and light, and that makes it easier for them to be picked up by the wind and spread far across, and they can take over an entire plot of land, which in the Last of Us and regarding cordyceps, that plot of land represents people, and even an entire civilization. But as I said, this was removed for the show, for many reasons. One of them could be, it wouldn't make sense, because if there were spores, people would be infected almost instantly. It would be that quick. That's how fast spores kind of traverse, and that's how fast they can spread. And also actors like Pedro Pascal, who's famous for, who's one of the biggest shows he's done is The Mandalorian. He's wearing a mask for the majority of it, so I'm pretty sure he was sick and tired of wearing a mask. Well, that's not one of the deciding factors, of course, but it's one of the factors that kind of, they all play together. But we have had some exciting, brilliant news that I am happy to give you. Craig Mazin, in an interview with the Washington Post, has revealed that the addition of spores is, quote, not out of the question for them to be included in the show. This is from the Washington Post. Should the series get renewed, which it very well might considering its sky-high success so far, spores may very well come back as another method of infection. Now, to me, this is incredibly promising news. This show has been a massive success. Incredibly high ratings. I think it's sitting on a 96 and 97% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb score is through the roof. People who have never played the game are enjoying the show. They're experiencing spoilers. They're experiencing characters' deaths for the first time, and they're just as upset and just as engrossed as we were when we first played the game. Or even if you haven't played the game, then you're watching the show, and you don't know what's going to happen. You're loving it, you're enjoying it, you're loving the characters, you're loving Tess. Some people aren't liking Ellie, some people aren't liking Bella Ramsey. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but in my opinion, Bella Ramsey's doing a great job as Ellie. I see a lot of Ellie in Bella Ramsey, and I'm sure that as the show progresses, she's going to get even better at her role. Not saying that she's bad at it now, but I'm just saying she's going to kind of feel even more comfortable in that role. But to me, this is an incredibly important piece of news. This is incredibly important. As in the Last of Us Part 2, you could even say that spores are even more of a feature, of a deciding factor in the game. You look at characters like Nora. She is killed by Ellie, not by Ellie by Ellie beating her to death, but she was killed the moment she was pushed into that infected hole that was just filled to the brim with spores. She's coughing up a lung. The whole reason why Dina, well, not one of the main reasons, but the revelation to Dina from Ellie that she is immune is from Ellie's mask breaking and her breathing in spores. There's even potential for, in The Last of Us Part 3, to be a story, kind of a part in the story where Ellie forgets her mask and she has to reveal to everyone else or to an enemy that she can breathe in spores and that she is immune, and then the cat's out of the bag. Everyone knows that Ellie
is immune. It's incredibly important, and to hear Craig Mazin come out in this Washington Post article, should the series get renewed, which it very well might, considering its sky-high success so far, spores may very well come back as another method of infection. That's coming from the main man himself, and I highly believe this. As I said, the spores are incredibly important. I just don't know how that they would then add them to the story, because The Last of Us Part 1, let's just say, The Last of Us TV show and the game takes place 20 years after the outbreak of the cordyceps virus. And I just think it would be I don't know how they would write it into the story, because I think the second game takes place 4 years after the events of the first game. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it is 4 years. I just don't know how that they would write into the plot or the story or the lore of the TV lore. After 24 years, the cordyceps virus mutated to then start producing spores, and then that was another way of infection. Of course, I'd love to see spores either way, and I'm sure fans of the show would enjoy it. I'm sure that they find it to be an intriguing concept and something that they haven't seen before, and obviously fans of the game would love to see spores return, me included. Spores is one of the most unique parts of The Last of Us, and it's really what gives it that kind of unique identity that separates it from, as I said, The Walking Dead, World War Z, those kind of mediums. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think that spores should return in The Last of Us Season 2 and possibly Season 3? I certainly do. How do you think that they would bring them back? Do you think that they should just leave out spores entirely and just continue with the tendrils and kind of build their own universe? But let me know in the comments down below. If you liked the video or if you enjoyed it, please like the video. And if you're new here, or if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm a small channel and I'd love to grow and kind of spread my videos to more people and build more of a community. That is the main thing I want to do here, is not just get subscribers, but it's actually just to build a community that I can have discussions with. I think that's such a really fun concept. But yeah, that's about it. See you later.